Good day, everyone. Richard Cowperthwait for Northwest Access TV. Thanks for joining us. Happy to have the Village people, the Swanton Village people, for a show today. Adam Paxman, Swanton Village trustee, and Bill Sheets, the Swanton Village manager. Good day, gentlemen. Good to see you.
You too.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
I should know we're taping this show on Tuesday, December 9. Boy, just a couple days after, 84th anniversary of Pearl Harbor Day.
Yeah.
And an anniversary, I'm sorry I wasn't listening, CJAD, the still very solid Montreal AM radio station. Listen to it every day. Of course, yesterday was a day I didn't happen to listen to it on its 80th birthday. So kudos, still, as you know, especially AM stations kind of go down, but still a very solid, just total news station.
Yep.
Yep.
Boy, about the only station that comes to mind in Vermont. Well, listen to the morning show on WVMT. Nice to have some local radio.
Yep.
But WDEV in Waterbury, my good friend Brad Ferlin does a talk show one day a week, but still a solid station. But boy, I can't say that about too many AM stations. My old station WWSR long gone.
Oh, my
anyway.
gosh.
Oh, I remember it well, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, it's a winter, some real winter here. Winter has set in, even a few weeks still ahead of official winter. You folks prepared, Adam, prepared for a solid winter if that's what happens?
We're, taking it one day at a time and, just monitoring like everybody else and doing what needs to be done. And just trying to keep things moving.
You probably saw the stat on the weather folks on Channel 3, maybe Channel 5 too, the Mount Mansfield snow stake, up to 50 inches on December 4th. And I guess the earliest it had ever been recorded. I love it when I hear people say, hey, that's the hottest day ever in Vermont, and add recorded weather history. But I guess it was the earliest 50 inches at the snow stake since they've been keeping records. Wow. The average on December 4th being 17 inches. So good, and I'm glad the ski resort's getting off to a good start.
Well, and that's just
with
it.
some good for Vermont, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for tourism.
Yeah.
And, whatever they're doing, that's helping everybody else in the state as well.
Yeah.
There's people coming through from New York State, coming through Swanton, and, it's a win all the way around.
Yeah, hopefully, maybe not. I think I touched on this with the Swanton town folks. Canadian traffic certainly significantly down. Is that obvious, Adam, to you and Bill, just from seeing fewer Quebec license plates? But it sounds like it's down like a good 1/3 or so.
It's possible. It's possible. You go into the local grocery store and you don't see as many.
I'm sure you
don't see as many, and even traveling the interstate from St. Albans to Swanton, there's not that many.
Yeah.
So,
Bill, something you notice, or anecdotally, or
anecdotally, we certainly don't measure it. We don't have a metrics for that, but I'm pretty confident that the experts who do look for that will say we're down about a third.
Yeah, and that certainly affects. I mean, I would think Hannaford and Swanton, where you think ordinarily maybe good 10% of their business is probably north of the border, maybe a little more.
Yeah, could be more.
Could be more.
Could be more.
Yep.
Yeah. Boy, I'm not sure we're going to see that situation change anytime soon.
I think it'll be a while.
Yeah. And big renovation coming up at the Highgate Springs border station. I'm not sure that started, but I guess there are a bunch of money supposedly for that.
They're certainly in the planning stage, and it's they're going to go forward because at one point they had a pretty open dialogue with us about the ability to extend water up to that location.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
It's cost prohibitive.
Boy, that would be some serious bucks, would it not?
25-30 million.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, little too much.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that makes me think of the rest area. Some talk about trying to get a rest area off I-89 between the border and St. Albans, Highgate, Swanton.
I don't know that there's been that much movement on it.
Yeah.
They've talked about putting it in the median, so you can access it from both lanes.
Yeah. Boy, is there enough room in the median?
I think there is.
I think there could be. Yeah. You hit a certain spot, there could be.
Interesting.
And they could always just bring the interstate around.
Yeah.
So,
And you got the person with the best answer in Representative Matt Walker, the House
Boy,
Transportation Chair.
I was impressed to be pulled off at chairmanship. Yeah, I got to grab Rupp Walker
Yeah.
one of these days.
Yeah, he would. I've been to a couple meetings. Actually, I run into him quite often at evening meetings, and he was asked that same question.
Yeah,
he can
I
give you
bet.
more detail, but I don't think it's on the immediate horizon, but
Yeah.
it's still being discussed.
Yeah. So I guess we can get right into the dam issue. When I last left you folks, that was kind of the huge story. Maybe still is a huge story, but Bill, I guess when I last left you, I think you were hoping at that point the bladder dam having ruptured, whatever. I guess we're hoping you could maybe repair it. And I guess the word came from FERC, Federal Energy Regulatory Commission. No, you can't repair it.
Yeah, we had hoped to have a multitude of engineers on site, to include FERC engineers, to try to repair it in place,
Yeah.
restore it, continue generating power, and immediately look for the alternative for the future.
Yeah.
They deemed it a life safety issue. They're not wrong. If somebody were to be fishing directly below the powerhouse and 15.5-foot wall of water occurred. That being said, we're pretty low risk in terms of dam safety. We have one person about 4.5 miles downstream that actually literally gets called before any of us. And our police department and fire department immediately respond to that location off Wall Farm Road to make sure he's okay.
Off Wall Farm. Just one person, one house?
One person, yep. And that wasn't really the life safety concern. Again, it's more, even though we could prevent or try to prevent people from fishing, there's a lot of local folks that go up right near the dam. And it doesn't matter if you have a klaxon or not, or whatever alarm system you have. If somebody's got 30 seconds to a minute to get out of there, that's going to be a problem. So I think it was historically based upon the fact that the dam had a tear in June of this year.
Yeah.
And then a very catastrophic tear after that. That there was a bit of a track record for this particular product, and they didn't trust that it could be repaired safely.
And it turns out the manufacturer had some problems with dams like that. Bill, was that the case? Or?
There's limited. I mean, there's only 5 manufacturers in the world of rubber dams
in the world.
In the world.
Wow.
So this is one of them. We're deeply disappointed. It should have lasted 15 years. It lasted 6.5. And
there's no, I assume, no warranty, buckos you get from that?
1 year.
One year, that's all, huh?
Yep.
Wow.
1 year, and even that's limited. So, we're having an ongoing dialogue with them in terms of any possibilities of any financial reimbursement.
You getting anywhere on that front?
We're doing it it's a friendly conversation right now, absent attorneys.
Yeah.
Which I think at this stage of the game, that's probably how we should approach it.
Yeah.
And we'll see where that dialogue goes. But yet, the long-term impact on us as an organization and the ratepayers is significant. It's, we used to produce between 70 and 80% of all our power for our 3,800 customers.
Yeah.
And, in a time and an economy where those numbers fluctuate and the cost of going out to buy power supply have increased significantly, that impact is going to be felt. So we're most certainly in the queue, just like every other power company, to go in front of the PUC at some point, probably by the time we get there, it'll be around July for a rate increase.
Yeah. So again, you're looking at a different kind of dam or for a replacement or?
Yeah, so a lot of various complications with this, and I'll try to be as succinct as possible. So we're in the FERC renewal process, so Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, but we're at the phase now where they have turned it over to the state. So when you meet a certain threshold and criteria, it then turns over to your water quality permit through Agency of Natural Resources, your 401 certificate. That's been filed. FERC has done that positive handoff, and ANR now has 1 year to respond. And it's not like things get resolved in a year. There'll be a dialogue about expectations. We have simply asked to be relicensed at the height of the pre-existing dam.
Yeah.
So right now we're operating 15 and a half feet lower than we were before.
Wow.
We used to be able to produce at max about 9.7 megawatts.
Yeah.
This is the new normal. We believe between 6 and 6.6 megawatts will be on our best day with
Really?
spring flows. So
Wow.
we have to go out in the open market now and do a power supply purchase. So a couple things have happened. We just issued today an RFQ, request for qualifications, proposals for an owner's engineer. So that'll be an owner rep that will help us navigate what will likely be a one-year process to determine the best alternatives moving forward.
Yeah.
That RFQ will go out in 2 weeks. Take about 3 weeks to identify and select somebody that's going to be our preferred engineer. Their job is to get us to between a 15 and 30% design alternative. And then they'll have 9 months from the time of selection before they appear in front of the trustees and really give us a menu that'll range from, here's the impact on you for all time if you do nothing. So your new normal is this is what you're going to produce.
Yeah.
Here are the best and most efficient alternatives, and here's what the likely cost is going to be. All the way to and including what is the value of our hydroelectric facility, and is there a market for it?
Wow.
We don't want to sell, but in fairness to the trustees, if they're going to make an informed decision, they gotta have the whole menu in front of them. And the alternatives, it's likely a sweet spot. Like right now, there's technology for gates, pneumatically controlled gates that could be as high as 15 and a half feet. Cost through the roof. Just prohibitively expensive.
As in millions of dollars.
Oh, if you just went gates that high with that much force, tens of millions.
Tens of millions.
So the alternative is if this is our dam height here,
Yeah.
and you got to meet 15, there's a sweet spot somewhere where I don't know if it's 6 feet, if it's 8 feet. The experts will tell us that, where
Yeah.
it's concrete and then a series of miniature gates. And those can be pneumatically controlled gates that are solid. They could be pneumatically controlled rubber dams. FERC will never let us replace the entire thing with another rubber bladder. For obvious reasons.
So no, obviously, you're not going to see another rubber.
No.
bladder.
But if it is in sections, right? So for ease of use, it's roughly 200 feet long. It could be in 2, 3, or 4 sections, and then you could have 4, 5, 6, 7 foot rubber bladders pneumatically controlled. That's permissible. So we're really just going to unleash the experts and identify and do a cost benefit analysis to tell us what the next best steps are. The new normal that we're living with now, we will not have a shovel in the ground for 2 years.
Really?
Yeah,
At least, yeah.
And it's possible there would be no replacement, that you just get by with what's going on now?
it depends what pencils
One
out.
of the possibilities,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what we, you know, the trustees have to determine, or, you know, that's why we're gonna hire the experts to tell us.
Yeah.
You know, if there's an opportunity where we can maximize what we're gonna produce.
Yeah,
You know, we need to at least try,
yeah,
you know, and, you know, as Bill said, if they come back and say, you know what, you're better off just to sell, here's what it's worth, you know, we've gotta take that into consideration as well, you know, we're not gonna.
and there would be buyers out, there
Who
would be
knows?
buyers out there?
Probably few and far between, but there are investors that can play the long game. Same
Investors.
thing when we identify, just as an example, say that it's a $20 million project.
Yeah.
We will fairly definitively be able to say, here's the increased production. Here, by the way, is what we're paying now for power supply.
Yeah.
We can show you a date certain where this thing pays for itself.
Really interesting.
But you still, and that's in the hydro world, that return on the investment can probably be met in the, I don't even want to venture a guess, but not the long game, but not the near game, kind of like in the middle.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but it might be a situation where the trustees are going to have some vision on what the community wants to do, because it's that oddity where we might have to go to the voters in a few years
Yeah.
and say, we have to bond this much, and it's a very small amount of people that vote, and then
Sure.
it will be spread amongst 3,800 ratepayers. But we'll be able to forecast and identify what that impact on the rates would be.
Yeah.
But again, there's a return on the investment long-term for that. So it's really too early to tell. You can't paint a much more complicated picture
Right.
with all the relicensing and the scrutiny from the Agency of Natural Resources and others. 10 different entities filed motions to intervene in this process.
In the relicensing renewal
Correct.
process?
That's right.
Really?
Yep.
Who, 10 different entities?
Yeah, and it's normal, it's routine, I think, for the majority of them.
Really?
Any natural resources council, Trout Unlimited, those types of folks, where the motion to intervene is simply they want to be a party in the discussion because absent that, nobody would represent their interest.
Huh.
So it's fairly routine to see that number.
Yeah.
But again, what we're a little bit concerned about is that in these conversations, everyone is now talking about the lower Swanton Dam.
Huh.
Whether that includes some studies, maybe the possibility of a fish passage,
Yeah.
or I think what the ultimate goal for some is the removal of that.
To remove it, of course.
And we want to be good stewards of the environment. We want to understand all of those complexities. But this is kind of a new ask. And I think the timing is such that we're in the FERC process,
Yeah.
that we've had a bladder failure,
Yeah.
that we're in the 401 A&R process,
Yeah.
and they've all collided
Wow.
to have it be an ideal time for anybody that wants that to get in front of us and have a dialogue.
Huh.
So we're pretty confident that when we do hear back from the Agency of Natural Resources, that it's not just going to be about the Highgate hydroelectric facility, it's
Yeah.
going to be about the lower Swanton Dam.
And it sounds like that's always been a lurking issue. There's some folks who've been after you to remove that for some time now.
Yeah, for at least a decade.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad. You know, I just,
I know you put it out for, I guess, a non-binding vote when
Yeah,
town
and it
meeting
was
with very, very
4-1.
strong support to keep it, of course.
yeah, 4-1.
4-1.
And, I mean, you know, the village owns the dam.
Yeah.
You know, the village residents own the dam.
Huh.
And it will be up to the village residents to decide what to do with the dam.
Yeah.
You know, it won't be the 3 trustees, it'll be
Yeah.
everybody. You know, and I think that's the right way to go.
You did check that. You did give a study, a look at potential hydro electric potential for that, and that just looked like it wasn't worth it. Didn't you give that some
Yeah,
attention?
we did something, I think it was probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Former village manager Bellevaux, you know, was looking at doing something of a hybrid where you could actually have a technical school.
Oh, yeah.
And teach people how to run
Wow.
hydro. And the return on investment just wasn't there. It was.
And it really
It was a
wasn't even
real
us. It
challenge.
was an outside entity called Stonecat Hydro.
No, really?
That received they were granted the rights to explore. It simply didn't pencil out. It would have
Yeah.
produced a 0.5 megawatt.
You know,
Oh, really?
Maybe enough to
Yeah.
charge the streetlights.
Yeah. So not worth it.
Not really, no. But
So on the renewal relicensing process, Bill, are you in good shape with FERC pretty much now? Has FERC said, yeah, you're good with us, but it's up to the state now or not?
Yeah, we're good with everybody. I mean,
Yeah.
this is not an adversarial discussion. We're along for the ride. It's part of the process.
Yeah.
FERC, our license with FERC automatically renews every year as long as we're passing all of the normal
Yeah.
testing and site visit requirements that we take part in.
Yeah.
So that's going to continue. In all likelihood, it's going to take years to navigate this discussion with the state of Vermont.
Yeah.
In all likelihood. Yeah.
Huh. And then if it takes years, it takes years. It's not like there's 3 years from now, hey, stop producing electricity, you don't have a
Correct.
renew. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Wow, that's not taking up too much of your time, huh? Boy, just
That's
what
one
you needed. Huh?
that's one of 8 divisions that I have. So yes, it's
Wow.
definitely busy. Yeah.
We're talking, what, getting close to mid-December here, annual town meeting day, just several months away. Adam, you're up in March?
Yes, sir.
And
Yep.
looking to, you'd love to stay on the Board of Trustees.
one more time.
Interesting.
Yeah, you know, that's the plan is to run one more time and
Yeah,
see where it goes.
that's right. You've been on how long now?
15 years,
Wow.
hard to believe.
You're the veteran guy on there.
Well, Years-wise, probably not
Yeah.
with Trustee Spear, but, you know, it's been a magical ride. You know, I came into this not knowing very much, and, you know, when I had the conversation with Neil about running originally was,
Yeah.
you know, he says, if you love your community, you know, which you do,
Yeah.
you take pride in your community, you want to make your community better, do it, you know. I mean, I don't have a law degree, I don't have an engineer degree, but I got common sense.
Well, it sounds like you got a pretty good handle on
You know.
Swanton Village, I'm sure.
So, but thank you. But no, it's, you know, I'm looking forward to it, and, you know, we'll see what the next 3 or 4 months bring, and,
Yeah.
you know, go from there.
And the other position, Village President David Winchester, 1-year term, so he's up in March also.
Yeah, he'll be up in March.
And not clear, has he said much
Haven't
about it?
heard.
Haven't heard?
Haven't heard.
Yeah.
So I know petitions will be going out probably this week,
Yeah.
so, you know, we'll see.
But budget work, Bill, you dived into the budget for, Swanton Town, of course, they never remember. Swanton Town, of course, is calendar year. You folks are fiscal year, or you
No,
calendar?
we're calendar year as well.
Calendar,
Yeah.
I think I'd remember
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Anyway, so doing a fair amount of work on budgeting at this point?
Yeah, we finalize in January, and again, it's with the enterprises. Again, I know I repeat this every time I'm on here,
Okay.
but the little village of Swanton, right? It's 42 full-time employees and a lot of little stovepipes. Policing again is probably one of the biggest drivers.
So not fully staffed at this point?
Getting there,
Yeah.
picked up a couple of really high caliber part-timers.
Really?
We have some people in the pipeline that are really good candidates. So I think we're on our way. It's the same as everybody else that's going
Sure.
to appear in front of you talking about policing budgets. You must
Sure.
remain competitive.
Yeah.
What goes up every year are salary, benefits, the workers' comp insurance,
Yeah.
liability. So it's the same story for us. So we are in the process of starting to finalize. We have a great relationship with the town, and if it holds true, and I think it will, they, outside the SROs, so we have 2 school resource officers, one at the high school level,
yeah.
one at the 3 elementary school levels.
Yeah.
They don't pay for any of that. So that's a little bit separate and apart because the school system pays for that.
Huh.
So you take that out of the equation, you take the rest of the officers, and essentially the way we're working it right now is the town of Swanton pays 1/3 of all policing needs from dispatching contracts because they get 1/3 of all shifts for the town.
Yeah.
So 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, with a whole bunch of extras. You know, we just had a very successful additional, you might have seen the press release, search warrant execution on Frontage Road in the town.
Huh.
Same story, group of young folks connected to gang activity.
I'm sure drugs had nothing to do with this, of course, right?
Well, sure did. And it's the new theme. Crack is back with a vengeance.
Oh, is that right? Crack
really,
is back
you're seeing
with
a
a
little
vengeance.
downtrend in heroin. You're
Really?
seeing a massive uptick in crack. So this
Really?
was several hundred grams of crack.
Wow.
The usual fentanyl.
Wow.
What has become the standard handgun with an obliterated serial number
Wow.
and cash. So
Really?
that's kind of been the theme, and I think we're seeing an uptick across the board in that activity. And sadly, it's because there's a market here,
Yeah.
and that's why they're here.
Yeah. Boy, so anyway, I know for a number of years you were so happy to report that you had the only fully staffed police department in the
Yeah.
state, but you think you're getting back close to that
We're
anyway?
getting close to that. I mean, it's the same situation. I know state police is still a little bit behind. I think, credit to Dominic Cloud and his crew.
Yeah, it
And
sounds like
Chief
they're
Lamoth,
pretty
I think
much-
they're doing well and they're fully staffed. Again,
Yeah.
great working relationship between the organizations, so that's been positive.
Wow. Adam, when I think of you, I think of speeding. Whenever I talk to
Gee,
you,
why?
speeding concerns. Does that ever go away, or is that
No,
as much
I
an
think
issue now as ever?
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever go away.
I'm sure it won't. Probably.
I think the last time I was on, we talked a little bit about it, and it all really came down to the care factor. If you really care,
Yeah.
slow down. I mean, it's even like stop signs. Who reads?
Yeah.
Who reads stop signs anymore? You just it's like grab and go. It's like
Boy, I notice that more myself. I mean, nothing.
it's-
Yellow light, you go up and go through a yellow light, but I'm seeing more people when I'm
Yeah.
ahead of me, seeing the light turn red and just,
Yep.
cars before the intersection just go through. I sure see that more than I
Yeah.
used to.
And I don't know, I find it discouraging, but the drug activity, I find even more discouraging,
Yeah.
and it's a balancing act, I get the police can't be everywhere at every time, and I think the fact that they're focusing on trying to get the best bang for the buck, with these busts and, search warrants and things like that.
Yeah.
And to find time to do speed studies, or, traffic control. It's a real challenge on these people, and,
Yeah.
I would not want to be in their shoes right now. I really wouldn't,
Yeah.
and my hat's off to them for the job that they do for the community.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tremendous.
Yeah.
It's very tremendous.
I guess some good news coming for the police department down the road, a bigger headquarters. Again, going back last couple of town meeting days, 2 times ago you lost the vote on the public service,
Safety building, yeah.
Public
Yeah, thanks,
safety. Thank
thanks
you
a lot for bringing that up, Richard. I appreciate it.
But then he came back a year later with a different project, and he got approval a year ago for
The
Swanton
second
Village.
time we did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Swanton Village Electric Department, a bigger, but that will help, and that work has not started. Will that get going this year?
Yeah, we hope. We're still doing some brownfield mitigation next door at 124 First Street.
Yeah,
I think we're almost there. We should be getting a bid package out fairly soon. We hope to break ground likely more summer now of next year.
Yeah.
12-month build. And then what'll happen is essentially where you walk in now and the PD is,
yeah,
everybody that's associated with electric, including myself, will go next door.
Okay.
So that frees up a lot of garage space for Public Works and the police. They'll, at some point, be able to retrofit some offices as we can afford it, without going to bond, without any big expenditures. Move some walls around some offices, but they will quadruple in size. And of course, that's not saying much because
600 square feet right now.
Wow.
it's really, really
Yeah.
disappointing and pathetic. But we can afford a coat of paint and some new sheetrock here and there if we need to do some things like that.
Wow.
I think again, kudos to the trustees for having the leadership courage to take this to bond a couple times and
Yeah.
to find a way. This is about the 50-year needs of the organization,
Yeah.
both from really the entire organization. So we're looking forward to having that move and then them having space where they actually will feel acknowledged and recognized by the trustees and as importantly, the community.
but unfortunately, a ways down the road still.
Yeah, I mean, it's, but light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
It's, at least it's a concrete plan. We can't wait to break ground. The day we break ground, then a year from that point,
Yeah.
they'll be in there.
But that should definitely get going in 2026.
Unless something happens, again, with the state of Vermont review as it relates to brownfields, but
Oh,
I
yeah.
think we're making progress. As I always remind, and they're well aware, I remind the trustees all the time, there's no fast-paced when you're talking about the mitigation of brownfields.
Yeah, wow,
It's complicated,
wow.
yeah.
Yeah, no, it's, and, as Bill said, the light at the end of the tunnel. The hardest part was getting the buy-in from the community.
Yeah.
To understand the need that we have,
Yeah,
making sure that the next building satisfies the community for another 50 years.
yeah, wow.
That was a big hurdle, and, I'm thankful for everyone who voted for the building. I really am.
Yeah.
We heard a lot of good stuff from people. We heard a lot of not so good stuff, but
Yeah.
you take it and, you gotta work it. So, but, I'm anxiously waiting to see what it looks like, so.
I bet. Boy, you had that issue with the Hotel Riv. Was that not too much of an issue with that there? Was that significant there too?
I like to refer to it as an opportunity, Richard.
You
So
would.
we're-
Or
I would.
you still dealing with that issue?
We own the property, same thing, brownfield mitigation.
Yeah.
We did a request for proposal for proposals for what to utilize the property for. Only one group, and that's Habitat for Humanity, responded.
Yeah.
And right now,
Huh.
what they're doing is they're waiting for a zoning bylaw rewrite, which allows a a lot more flexibility in the condensed housing in there. So they want to put on multiple single, they're attached, but they're single family units. Could be 6, 7, 8 if it works.
Wow.
So we have to see the design. The zoning folks at the town would have to DRB would have to say, yeah, this concept works.
Yeah.
They would then come back in front of the trustees, negotiate, and we have essentially a structure in place.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to it. And then at that point, when we know that that design works, they'll take that overlay, they'll lay it on the site, and then we'll have a brand-new cap plan for brownfield mitigation. So in other words, without knowing exactly where the building is sited right now, everybody's just guessing as to what the state would make us do to mitigate that.
Really?
So that will get us a lot closer. I think we'll have some movement on that. I'm not saying we'll be completely free and sold this next year. And it's always good to not have Trustee Spear here during these conversations because he is a little frustrated. But certainly in 27, we hope to see some construction there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And housing is what you were, I mean, kind of
Well,
hoping
and
for the
that's
sign?
one of the big things that,
Yeah.
you know, we need it. You know, we need it to, you know, the village can only grow so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was one open lot in the village that has a brand-new house on it.
Huh.
You know, hopefully, we're gonna get 6 to 8, or however many,
Yeah.
you know, new units, you know, at the old Hotel Riv.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's gonna make the place a better place to live.
So no other really housing initiatives going on? I mean, just really no run?
Nothing that I'm aware of at this point. no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a push from private homeowners that are going to be able to maximize the
Yeah.
ability to do a duplex now, for
Yeah.
example. You hear discussions of that, but
Yeah.
we certainly don't have open tracts of land.
No.
You know, I think at some point in life we'll see multi-use development like other communities where the ground floor is a business, a restaurant, et cetera, and
Yeah.
housing on top. But I think that's a ways away.
Yeah. Talked to the Swanton Town folks, as you might guess, quite a bit about LOT, local option tax. And it sounds like there's movement on that. And Adam?
Yeah, but, you know, it's gonna go to the voters hopefully in March.
Yeah.
And, you know, if they vote for it, which I'll go on the record, I am for it.
Yeah.
Even though it's another tax, I am for it because it's gonna help our community. It's gonna bring added revenue in from other folks. So, you know, it'll help us, you know, we'll use it for infrastructure. You know, things we've tossed around is even paying for the bridge, you know?
Yeah.
We've got a bridge coming up in 2029 now, and,
Yeah.
you know, 2.5% you know, we're gonna owe, so, you know, this could help. You know, that way we're not coming out of more taxpayer money.
You getting much initial reaction? The local option tax is getting certainly attention these days. Town of Swanton, I guess, looks like they might try to, if it gets passed, use some of that money to fund the new rec center community building that they've been wrestling with for a number of years. Are you getting much initial reaction to that? It is another tax, but I'm sure you make the point that, hey, a bunch of people living
Well,
out
and
of
that's
town
just-
will
yeah.
help pay for that, obviously.
Exactly. I mean, we've got people who simply, you know, stop, buy something and then
Sure.
leave. They're not, you know, even gas, well, I shouldn't say gas because there's a gas tax.
Yeah.
But, you know, you got a restaurant tax, they're gonna come in and,
Yeah.
you know, we're building, and it was funny because we talked to Darcy today at Bees on Broadway.
Yeah.
And she says in a year's time, how amazing the village has grown
Yeah,
and the busyness.
really.
You know, she's had her best year ever.
Huh.
And she's excited for the future. A small business owner having excitement for the future for the
Yeah.
village is huge.
Huh.
You know, the more we talk about the successes in the village,
Yeah.
the more people are gonna come in and spend their money.
No, it sounds like you have your restaurant, which I'll get to. One of the Green Mountain Bistro. It sounds like it's done very well.
Amazing.
I mean, weekends pretty busy, especially weekends, pretty busy
Reservations
place.
only.
Yeah.
All right.
As evidenced by my double or triple chin, I go there too often. It's outstanding.
Ace Hardware, Gordy Winters, has Gordy done pretty well with
Yeah.
Ace? Is that, yeah?
Yeah.
Right? Yep.
Yeah, it's, I mean,
So you feel downtown's got some life to it.
downtown has some life to it, you know, and the trustees, you know, we talked about it when, you know, when Gordy, you know, took the building and everything, you know, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah,
And we did not lie.
yeah,
You know, if you build it, if he builds that and he builds the, you know, the footprint,
Yeah.
everything else is gonna come into play.
yeah.
And it has. I mean, it's, you know, kudos to the boards in the past for having this vision.
Yeah. Bill, have you got a better sense? Do you think downtown is showing more life these days, or?
Yeah, and it's thanks to the trustees. Again,
Yeah.
it takes leadership courage when I continually come to them to say, hey, we got another grant. Well, it's great to get $600,000 grants, but
Yeah.
that comes with a $150,000 match
Yeah.
that they have to support in order to do it. So we have 3 iterations of Downtown Transportation Alternatives Program grant, one in front of Merchants Row. So that, you know, that's the other side, and don't forget, that's turned into a very vibrant downtown.
Absolutely.
But from accessibility to streetscapes to stormwater, it continues down Church Street and Canada Street. So over the next 3 years, you're going to see about $1.8 million in state dollars
Yeah.
matched by our $450,000
Really?
just for those specific projects. So
Yeah.
again, that's it's really been exciting to take part in that.
Well, you hear so much about healthcare. It sounds like Notch has a pretty significant presence in
Yep.
the village.
They do,
Yeah.
yep. You know, and they provide a good service and a needed service. And
Yeah.
that's, you know, we can't ask for more than that.
Yeah. You touched on the highway project. I think I've erroneously called it a few times the Route 36 highway, Route 78 highway bridge,
Yes.
correct? Have I got
Yeah.
that right?
Right.
Is that Vietnam Veterans
Yep,
Memorial
it is.
Bridge?
Yep.
Correct.
So again, 2029, we're looking for, again, a total bridge replacement at this point, or?
No,
Not total.
so it's, they don't believe so. So based
Okay.
on the inspections, at this point, it's kind of an alternative. It's kind of the best of both worlds. They'll strip it right down to the girders, essentially, the support beams, make sure those are in good shape. Do an overlay and take out the railings, the sidewalks and everything, put new compliant sidewalks and railings in. And that cost, again, 97.5% of that's paid for by the federal government.
Yeah.
So it's roughly $5.7 million project. I think our share is
42.
142,375,
Yeah.
something like
Wow.
that.
625.
There we go. Good job. You listened last night.
See?
Yeah. So that's another thing where, again, it's not fun to own a bridge because you have a responsibility to the 2.5%, but
Yeah.
2.5% of getting something that's then going to last another 30 to 50 years, that's worth it.
Yeah. And that project sounds pretty solid. That sounds pretty solid as
Yeah,
things look.
it just got bumped a year. So
Yeah.
the construction was either in 2028 or 2029. It's
Yeah.
definitively in 2029 now.
Yeah.
Conceivably, it could get bumped again. I mean, that's part of the problem. You're always fighting for space, especially in anything related to bridge design and replacement. It's just, there's a long list of needs in Vermont.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this bridge in particular, being an artery between New York and Vermont,
With the incredible truck traffic.
Yeah.
16 to 17%, you know, it's
Yep.
just.
Yeah, that's a stat
it's
in
gonna
my
be a
mind,
challenge.
thanks to you folks.
Yeah.
You know, it'll be a challenge, but
Yeah.
you know, we're gonna work together with the state and we're gonna figure it out and,
Yep.
you know, hopefully in 4 years' time, we got a new bridge.
With I guess the completion of the interstate, is that Route 35 north of the border?
Yes.
And with the completion of that, I think there was some hope that might lessen truck traffic a bit. I mentioned that to the town folks. I'm not sure they were holding their breath about that. Have you got a sense of that, Bill?
Haven't seen the reduction.
No.
Yeah.
But the state does all that, the traffic counts. So I'm sure they'll be out there at some point in the next year and we'll get a definitive count. More 10,000 vehicles a day.
Yeah.
16, 17%, whatever it is.
Is that right?
That are trucks. So that's a lot of trucks
Yeah,
going through the village. We'd like to have less trucks through the village.
I'm sure.
I mean, they're just passing through.
Yeah.
None of them very rarely stop.
Don't even get much gas out of them or anything.
Nope.
No, I
Wow.
don't think you see many stop for any reason.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez, it just seems like a way. I forget. I'm well aware of the statistic, but until I'm in Swanton Village,
Right.
I just kind of just don't
Yeah.
think about it until I'm
Right.
there and
Yep.
and just
Yep.
see it. But well, any winter? How'd you fare paving? You did some paving over the summer.
Yeah, we maximized the state grant funding for paving, so we did a little bit at the intersection of Lake and South River, and we did Linda Avenue. So any Class 2s, we try to take advantage of those, just like every other community. Local paving, we didn't do a lot. We did Foundry the year before, and this year we concentrated on maximizing grants from the state of Vermont for sidewalks.
Yeah.
And again, we do that internally, so it's very onerous on our crew, but that's one thing for the village. Every part of the organization will drop everything to help out in a big project. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
Just the other day, we had a big water leak, and a couple of the folks from wastewater, the entire day spent just working with that team
Really?
to get it done. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Speaking of wastewater, you got voter approval a few years ago for the upgrade of the wastewater plant. That work has been completed, or?
Not completed.
Not
If it was
completed.
on time, I'd be able to sit here right now and say
Really?
next week. They're about 2 months away from being done. So $8 million project, great work done by the team down there and the contractor. Almost there. Just got to finish up the filter building. And again, so this is an all-new filtering system. We'll use less chemicals. We'll reduce additional phosphorus.
And that was a mandate, was it not, from the state to reduce phosphorus at wastewater plants?
We met the standard. Part of it was we had an aging facility that was literally aging out in every facet, from the clarifiers, just the entire thing. And now we're going to be back up to speed. And again, this should be a 50-year fix.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the exception of our lagoons. So we are mandated within the next 8 years to fully dredge
Wow.
our lagoons. So we have I think we're really unique in Vermont. We have two 15-acre lagoons, facultative lagoons, where Mother Nature does the most of work
Yeah.
to take care of folks' waste. But over time, and I'm talking over decades of time, the sludge has built up in the right side lagoon, and the state says, hey, you got to get rid of that. That's going to be a $10 million price tag.
Wow.
We are well underway, working with Heidi Birchville and our grants person to, we're fairly confident now that we're going to stay in the running for a 90% funded grant. So
Wow.
we're going to get $9 million
Really?
to take care of the sludge while matching. And I know that's still a heavy price tag, right? So the voters are like, that's $1 million.
I suspect you'll take
saved 9 million.
10%.
So, I mean, that's, fingers crossed, we're really hoping. It will take years to navigate this to get there, but we hope in the time that we're required to do it, or a few years prior to that, we'll have secured the funding so we can get that project done.
Wow.
Yeah.
And again, the state did mandate, did they not, municipal wastewater plants to reduce phosphorus?
Yeah, but just to be clear, we were already under.
We were already under,
Yes.
and, one of the meetings that I sat in, the state came in and said, you need to be under, I think it was 1,600 pounds per day. And we have 1,400 residents. If each resident creates 1 pound of phosphorus, we're already under. So that was the argument from me as trustee, is why are we doing this if we're already under? The bigger picture was the fact that we had an aging facility that had to be upgraded.
Yeah.
So, which makes sense.
Speaking of facilities, how's the water treatment plant? I can remember from, I think I can go back to day one when the ribbon cutting for that.
Yeah.
How's that plant holding up on Macquam Shore?
Good. It's at its natural age where you're starting to see certain equipment need to be cycled out.
Yeah.
So a lot of the pumps have been fully replaced. Oddly enough, the pumps replacing the same one were the same price as they were like almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Really?
So it's one of those rare circumstances where that kind of makes no sense, but it was very economical to get that deal and put those in. Right now we're in good shape. It's normal wear and tear and maintenance and understanding that you got to make certain tweaks, because the same thing there. Our goal is to use as little as we possibly can for chemicals and produce high-quality water for our citizens.
And that's worked out pretty well. You don't have too many water issues.
No, we have the same issue, not at the water plant. I think we're good there.
Yeah.
I think we now are in the same path as many municipalities. We're identifying water lines that we have to tackle every year. One thing you can't do is ignore the problem. So, for example, two very small streets, Dewey and Gallup, they're both off of North River. Those are water lines we're going to replace next year. One is not that complicated. We can do it ourselves and save a tremendous amount of money. The other one we have to contract out. We have to pick those spots. We have to just do a little bit better in terms of identifying and prioritizing. We got to stop going to the same lines to make the same repairs.
Yeah.
It really defeats
Not
what you're trying to do.
cost-effective.
Right.
Yeah.
The very low Lake Champlain water level this year, just a few months ago. Not a problem, I assume. Is that
No, our intake's way out. Even at the
Way
low
out.
point was still many feet, double digits feet below the surface.
Not
What
an
it
issue.
did cause is the same issue that you saw in other public forums, not to the degree of others, but when you get that low stagnant water, sometimes you do get a bit of an odor. Sometimes you got to use a little bit more chemicals. But I think we battled that pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, without a doubt. I mean, we got a great team down there, and they're very conscientious about when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
So, it helps to have a great team.
It does.
You know, and from the manager on down, we got 43 employees, and just, you know, as trustee, we've got a great team. It's, without this team, we don't succeed.
Yeah.
We don't succeed. You know, people really need to understand, you know, what it means to work as a team.
Yeah.
You know, Bill brought up the water break. You know, a couple of departments working together. You know, we've had times where we've had other departments working with other departments that
Yep.
you never would see.
Yeah.
You know, but it's all about the team. It's all about making the community a better place to live and taking pride.
And it sounds like over the years you've fared pretty well relations with the Swanton town folks. Sounds like that certainly is the case these days.
Oh, great relationship.
Yeah.
They, especially Public Works Highway, help each other out all the time. We'll do anything for those folks, and I assume the same is true for them. I work very closely with Brian and many members of the board. I talk to Brian, not most days, but certainly a week doesn't go
Every
by
week
where we're-
anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Swanton Village Fire Department, how are you faring with the fire department? Any issues equipment-wise? Are you in pretty good shape with the FD?
Yeah, we're in good shape. You know, we're going to look at a new utility vehicle that's going to replace two vehicles. So, you know, we're looking at that, and you know, if everything goes according to plan, there will be no out-of-pocket money. So, from the sale of two vehicles to purchasing one.
Yeah.
So, which is great. I mean, nobody wants to hear you're going to buy another vehicle and it's going to cost X number of dollars. You know, we've got a plan in place. The fire chief and his crew have done a great job running through the numbers and explaining it to the trustees, and you know, we wholeheartedly support, you know, what they're going to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, great solution when, so it's Dan Chevalier is the chief, Troy Campbell's the assistant chief, and his whole leadership team. Pretty encouraging when they come to you with a solution, and the solution is, hey, we think we can be more efficient and effective with one less piece of apparatus. Oh, by the way, sell two, buy that one, pay for it with reserves, no impact on the taxpayer, and then they'll throw in and oh, by the way, we don't have to go to bond for a fire truck till 2032 at the earliest.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a good conversation.
Sounds like it. Staffing, how's fire department doing staffing-wise?
They are, I think, 24 or 26 full-time volunteer firefighters, all level 1 or 2 certified. And
you sure
they
hear about
work
that
great as a
issue.
team.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen them in action a couple times, and it's just, you know, it's just bing, bang, boom. You know, and they're phenomenal. You know, it's almost like they feed off each other.
Yeah. In the news, just in the last week or so, at least to me, Missisquoi Valley Rescue, some concerns going on about some of the issues with the organization, and I know the village and town have looked into that, and talking to the town folks, I guess they were saying they're hoping for a meeting. They'd like to get together with, I guess, the Billadoos, Dan and Len. But is that a big concern or a concern?
Well, I mean, I would say it's a concern for the community.
Yeah.
But, as far as the village goes, we don't have a dog in the fight, as I say. This is between Swanton Town, Highgate Town, and MVR.
Okay.
And, we do throw our support behind the two towns.
Yeah.
In essence, because we want to make sure that our communities, all three of them, have coverage.
Yeah.
Ambulance service is way too important to,
Sure.
have issues.
Yeah.
So, but, we'll see how it goes, and, if they ask our opinion, we'll give it, but other than that, there's really not much we have to say.
Yeah. Bill, any thoughts on that?
No, Trustee Paxman's absolutely right. So
Yeah.
we do not hold a contract with them.
Yeah, so
In-
this
in
sends
this-
the town.
In this case, and essentially always, the village is part of the town. Town has a contract. Contract expires, I think, in April.
Yeah.
So the town will have to have a dialogue with the select board as to what their next steps are. And I think Highgate has a contract for, that's got another 2.5 years on it.
Yeah,
roughly.
really.
So, yeah, I mean, we'll be participants, the board will, as much as folks want us to be, but
Yeah.
we rent space to Missisquoi Valley Rescue. I think all of us feel the same, that we absolutely have a critical need for a professional
Right.
rescue service.
Sure.
Yep.
That part's non-negotiable.
Yeah.
You have to
Exactly.
have it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back to relations with the town, it sounds like with the LOT, the local option tax,
Yep.
believe I was told yesterday with, if that happens, with the revenue coming in, town 76%, the village 24%.
I like it, because I thought it
Yep.
was 77-23, so let's lock
Is that
that
right?
in.
I think if
Exactly.
I'm remembering
It's,
that right.
it's the same, it's the reverse of what we do with the fire department.
Yeah.
So it's a 5-year rolling average based on the grand list,
Huh.
whatever that percentage is. So, yeah, I think common sense prevailed. The town will run it. Of course, really, the state helps administrate the local option tax.
Wasn't that issue looking a little complicated for a while and became less complicated, or
It was if we tried to each
have
do
separate,
it.
like separate
And,
things?
geofence, partition it. This is just easier.
Yeah,
We
sounds like
we
it.
all get along. What'll happen is the town, just like any other town, will get a check 4 times a year.
Yeah.
They'll then turn around and cut us 24%.
Gotcha.
Remember that, instead of
Right.
23%.
Yeah.
Roughly
My memories.
75, roughly 75,000 a year
Yeah.
is what will come back to us.
Yeah.
And again, there is all
You think you can
kinds-
think you can find a way to spend that money, huh?
The bridge in downtown will take the first 4 years of
Yeah.
allotment right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yep.
What are you hearing about LOT? You getting much reaction from the public, Bill? Many comments at this point?
In anything, and I think we would all parrot this, you get 2 immediate reactions,
Yeah.
the positive and the negative. The negative is immediate on Facebook.
Yeah.
The no thank you, it's a tax. And then the others are those phone calls or in-person visits where people seem to think it makes sense.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's up to the voters.
Right.
Most of it truly, though, rough estimates are between 40 and 50% of that local option tax is likely borne by folks other than your citizens.
That really? So almost half.
It depends who you talk to, but certainly
Yeah.
if you go into the bistro or if you go into Bees on Broadway,
Yeah.
they're not Swanton residents.
Yeah.
And they're visiting, and they're buying, and they're, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So it's somewhat of a relief, and it's discretionary. So
Yeah.
you don't have to go there. With that being said, I get it. It's an impact. It's a tax impact. So the voters will have to determine their way through. A little concerning. We had the joint meeting. I think 7 people showed up.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard that.
So
Yeah.
that's,
Discouraging.
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess for many years going to those meetings, what else is new? But I'm sure it's discouraging.
It is, because you want both sides to show up and
Sure.
have a dialogue, and all you want to use those for is simply to inform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think if you keep hammering on, hey, this is going to help your property tax situation a little bit, you'd think that might,
Right.
in the end, maybe be a key point, but I guess
Yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah. Well, and the fact that most surrounding communities, I think we're close to 40 now, and it's growing all the time, they have it.
Yeah.
Well, St. Albans Town, I'm sure you know, folks
Yeah.
hear
Yes.
about St. Albans Town, and again, paying for their still pretty new town hall and
Right.
pretty new public works garage with revenue from LOT.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's worked out pretty well for the town.
Absolutely, yes.
Yep.
The Franklin County State Airport project, of course, you folks came through with the extending the water and sewer lines.
Yeah.
Anything going on at this point? I realize this is kind of a down the road project, but are you still looking?
Yeah.
I think that'll be maybe a big plus for this area.
We hope
Eventually.
so, yeah. We have the capacity, just speaking of water and wastewater.
Yeah.
We have an MOU with Highgate, and we'll operate that, and at some point, the intent is, once it's debt-free for a year after
Yeah.
being in service, then the intent is for us to take over that line, because we have the infrastructure to support it and do the
Yeah.
billing. Very few people on it right now.
Yeah.
So we certainly have the capacity, and I think trustee Paxman could probably talk more about the future impacts, but we don't know a lot.
Yeah.
No, we don't, and, my hope is that they do build up there, we do get some business.
Yeah.
There's, what we were talking last night, maybe 6 or 8 water customers, 3 or 4, wastewater customers. It's a beginning,
Yeah.
and just the fact that we're getting water up there,
Yeah.
I think is a huge,
And water was a real issue up there.
it was a real
correct?
issue. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
like any development.
Yeah.
You got to have water and wastewater,
Yeah.
or you're really
Yeah.
lost.
Yep. So, I'm really optimistic in the fact that just having those 2 items up there,
Yeah.
people are gonna see, hopefully we get more business coming in, we get some high-paying jobs going in,
Yeah.
and we keep our residents local instead of having to travel to Chittenden County.
That'd be nice, yeah.
It would be real nice.
Yeah.
It would be real nice.
Every time I talk to Tim Smith, St. Albans Mayor and Franklin County Industrial Development Corp., of course, his hope, goal for years has been, hey, convince, some thousand of the people going to the Burlington
Yeah.
area every day to hang around here where there's some good jobs.
Yep.
Yep, exactly.
Anyway. Of course, the field days took a hit. That was,
Yeah, discouraging.
yeah. Do you think we'll see another field? I guess, are they talking about maybe doing kind of a different format in the
Yeah, I
future?
think they were talking about
Moving it around or?
moving it around,
Yeah.
to different communities every year, and, I heard a rumor that Sheldon was gonna be doing something next year, I don't
Yeah.
know. But,
Did it seem to you that field days had to go? I mean,
I don't think so.
Yeah. Not
I
your call.
think, I think they did a disservice to field days,
Yeah,
but again, I'm not the landowner, so,
sure.
maybe I would've felt different, I don't know.
Bill, any thoughts on that?
No, sorry to see it go.
Yeah,
But again,
absolutely. More revenue.
certainly not privy to any of the discussions behind
Yeah.
the scenes, future developments, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess the airport runway was lengthened. I guess they already did some work on the actual runways, I guess.
Widened and
Runway,
lengthened.
widened
Yeah.
and lengthened.
Yep.
Interesting. Adam, down to about a minute and a half here. Many years as a trustee. Feel like your job these days is a whole lot different, a lot tougher, more complicated than your early years, or is much different? Or
I think it's a little different,
Yeah.
I've sat in a seat longer than I anticipated,
And you hope for another 3 years
Well,
anyway,
not that I hope for,
right?
but, longer than I thought I would be.
Yeah.
But, things have changed over the years, and, the focus is back to growing the village.
yeah,
And again, with everything that's gone on in the last 15 years, I'm very proud to be part of.
yeah.
It's had its ups, it had its downs, but would I trade it? Not in the world.
Yeah.
Not for $1 million.
Boy, Bill, you got so much on the project, the stuff you're dealing with. Again, easy for me to use the word overwhelming, but it sounds like you're on top of it. But it sounds like you're still hanging in okay. I mean,
Yeah, it's certainly not me. I defer. I'm fortunate to have 8 direct reports that are exceptional leaders, and that's really
Yeah.
where it begins. But the whole team, very, very fortunate. I'm always in a good position. Every day's a Friday.
Yeah.
I'm coming from an environment where I have a previous retirement. That being said, I'm locked in. My goal is to do another 4 years. That'll make 7 in
Really?
this position.
Wow. Good for you.
That's at a minimum, if as long as they'll have me. And it's really been great. I like complicated, fast-paced project world. So this is a good home for me.
Hey, on that note, we'll call it a day. Thanks to Bill Sheets, the Swanton Village manager, Adam Paxman, longtime Swanton Village trustee. Thanks a lot, folks.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
Thanks to my key guy, producer Alan Cunningham. I'm Richard Cowperthwait. We'll see you again on Northwest Access TV. See ya.